Hello and welcome back to 360 Sports. Thank you so much for joining us here today for our Frenzy Show. I'm your host, Kylie Smith, and here alongside me is
Chase Brosend,
Isabella Sposato,
and Alec Brown.
We have a lot to talk about, a lot to do, so we're going to get right into our headlines, starting with the NCAA. No! Guys, Colin Wells, 2 years as a producer. Almost forgot. How could I forget? He started this show 2 years ago, right? And look at how far
Built
it has
from the
come.
ground up.
Built it from the ground up. He's the man. Always working on the scripts. I think he used to be on air all the time. So
yeah, he used to write the scripts and then be on air after. So he's a staple of this franchise we have going.
Well, of course, yeah. He also now co-writes with Luke Stefanisko. I'm sure he's in the back there. He also made the slide for Wells. So obviously, congratulations, Wells, on your 2 years as a producer. From everyone here at 360 Sports, we are all beyond grateful for everything that you've done for this club. We all know how much you do, and I hope that the Magic treat you well in the playoffs as well for Orlando.
Wow.
Thank you, Wells.
That's not all, because it's our girl's Hailey's birthday tomorrow, our producer. So we also wanted to say happy birthday to Hailey, early birthday. So a lot of things to celebrate as we get into our show today. So we want to talk about our headlines. The NCAA Frozen Four begins tonight in St. Louis, with Denver taking on Western Michigan and Penn State taking on Boston University. What are your guys' expectations for these games, and who do you think is going to make it to the championship?
All right. Well, first off, I think Denver's going to take their game. They're the reigning champions, and they're 31-11-1 on the season. The stats kind of speak for themselves. They've been pretty dominant this year and last year. They have the playoff experience. And, of course, as a Penn Stater myself, I'm going to have to go with Penn State against beating Boston. They're the hottest team in the country right now. They're 15-4-4 in the last 3 months. And I don't think anyone can really compete with them right now.
I mean, good for Penn State. They really deserve this. They have had such a positive mindset, even in that, beginning of the season when they were, pretty slow. And they prevailed, obviously. When it comes to Denver versus Western Michigan, Denver is reigning champs, and they have the most championships, the most Frozen Four championships in all of the NCAA with 10 titles as of last year. And honestly, they're an incredible team. I think it's going to be so hard to beat them, whoever faces them in the final. And not only is it Penn State's first time, it is also Western Michigan's first time in the, Frozen Four. I find it funny also how Denver is actually ranked lower than Western Michigan. Denver's at number 6 and Western Michigan's at number 3. So this game could go one way or another. And I have to highlight the fact for Penn State that Arseny Sergeev's, sorry if I pronounced that wrong, he's a wonderful goalie. He came from UConn. UConn's not the best, but they're okay. But he had a wonderful season, as well as Aiden Fink, who was a Hobie Baker Award finalist in his freshman year. I mean, this guy's got talent. If he could win this Frozen Four with Penn State, I think we could see him in the NHL draft his senior year even. But for Boston University, they're pretty much in a drought right now with national title wins. They last won, 16 years ago. They're ranked number 8, but I could see this game going one way or another against Penn State. They did make a lot of Frozen Four appearances, 25 to be exact, and I don't know. Let's see if Penn State stuns them. That would be incredible if they do.
Yeah.
Well, obviously Penn State's been getting tested every single year, but I think this game especially is going to really test on how Penn State has been playing. We look at BU and you look at how Penn State have been playing the entire year, it's really just been fast-paced offense. They're in your face. They're trying to get interceptions as quick as possible, and they want to go fast. So will Penn State continue this type of play against a team like BU, who's so strong in the same categories as them? Not too sure, but I know for BU, they have a strict game plan coming into tonight, and I'm sure for all of us watching, or at least in the studio, we'll be watching tonight to see the final results.
I'm excited.
I think it's going to be an interesting game, noting that last year in the Frozen Four, it was actually BU versus Denver who played each other, and Denver beat BU in double overtime, 2-1, low-scoring game, but both of those teams have so much experience and so much know when it comes to this, obviously Denver being in the championship. So I think it'll be interesting how we see that experience prevail or not if we see these new teams come up and rise to the occasion. I think it's going to be really interesting to see how that kind of plays a role tonight.
I agree.
But moving on, the NHL also had a wild night last night with a ton of goals scored for some key games. With these games over and playoffs approaching, let's talk about some teams on the cusp of postseason.
All right, I just wanted to highlight the Montreal Canadiens. They're just on the edge of playoff berth, and they're actually on a 6-game winning streak right now. They've been really impressive to me this season, especially this past month, this stretch right before playoffs. And if you can get hot in the right time in hockey, it's kind of a game of momentum. So if they can carry that momentum into the postseason, I think they'll be in good shape. They could definitely get past the first round. You know, every year we see a wild card team go from the first round on advance to the finals. So I think they could be a team. That's a team that I have my eye on. I want to hear what you guys have to say.
Honestly, I have a bone to pick with the Rangers because after they got rid of Capo Caco, they fell apart. I am not the only Ranger fan who saw that. I'm sure everyone else did, even non-Ranger fans. And they even got rid of Lindgren, VC, Hedl. Like, the list keeps going on. Hedel's a kid. What are you doing? I know he's injured, but give him a chance. So, honestly, the Rangers' downfall, that's on them. That's on the organization. Hopefully they learn from their mistakes. I know they got some good players, but still, I'm pretty mad at them. And they don't deserve to go in the playoffs if that's the case. Everyone played not their best. Karma is a you-know-what, basically. And, okay, positive note. The Winnipeg Jets stunned me this season. They lost the first round of playoffs last year. Their last good season was 2018. They have not made an appearance until last year. They only made 8 since who knows when, and they never won a Stanley Cup. And they're first in the league, so kind of rooting for them in a way. I am also stunned by the Ottawa Senators. We have to talk about because they have not made an appearance in their playoffs since 2017. They've been doing a lot of rebuilding. It paid off because they clinched a playoff spot. And I'm also going to be keeping my eye on the Capitals. I know Rangers are not allowed to like Capitals, but I'm keeping an eye on them because Alex Ovechkin broke Wayne Gretzky's NHL career goals record, 895. I mean, come on, that's crazy. So, I mean, a way to one-up Wayne Gretzky is by winning the Stanley Cup this year because Wayne Gretzky didn't get to. And the Kings, I feel like I haven't really seen the Kings. So they're back hoping to win a playoff series.
When I looked at, dark horse playoff teams, what really stood out to me was the Minnesota Wild. I mean, they've had an injured roster throughout the entire year. I mean, you really look at Kirill Kaprizov. He put up 55 points in 38 games. I mean, just incredible stats from him. Obviously, others have stepped up in his role, but since there have been less injuries in these past coming weeks, the team just looked a lot better, scoring a bunch of goals. They had 8 the other night. And I just love that their matchup is against the Las Vegas Golden Knights. I think they have a great chance of beating them. I mean, this team was also a 1 seed earlier in the year before all the injury riddles started getting them. So if they can keep up with their earlier success they had at the beginning of the NHL season, I think this team can make a deep playoff run. And I mean, it's always open in the NHL. A team that's won the President's Trophy every year never even comes close to winning the Stanley Cup.
Yeah. I mean, I know this might be kind of early to predict. Do we have any early contenders who we think could win the championship this year, who you guys are thinking to get that trophy?
I mean, the Jets probably. I mean, if they keep up what they've been doing the whole season, they definitely have a shot. To even be in the Stanley Cup, I feel like they could, but to win, it depends who they're really facing at the end of the day, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I have the Capitals. I think their offense is really impressive. It struck me. They have one of the best offensive, if not the best offensive player of eternity in Alex Ovechkin, and he leads that offense, but he's not the only one that can score. So I think if they can keep their offense rolling, keep scoring goals, they'll be good in the playoffs. Their defense is a little bit shaky, but I think they'll hold up.
Okay, moving on, we're going to talk about Luka Doncic had a wild return to Dallas last night, crying during a tribute video before thrashing the Mavericks 112-97, scoring 45 points by himself. What do you guys think about the game?
I'm going to go ahead and say that the Lakers need to be taken seriously in the Western Conference. I know for the past couple of years they've been like a 5, 6, 7 seed. But this year they're a 3 seed. They're 20-7 since the Luka Doncic trade. And Austin Reeves and LeBron, I just have to point out their connection. Last night, I don't know if you saw, they had a really nice alley-oop combo. It was really cool to see. I think their connection's just growing more and more. And the three of them, Doncic, Reeves, and LeBron, they really connect. And I think those are the three that are going to bring them the championship. I know they're missing a few pieces. They don't have the center that they used to have in Anthony Davis. But they do need to be taken seriously in the Western Conference. And I also just wanted to add that the Mavericks lost the trade in case everyone didn't know already.
I mean, what were the Mavericks thinking? After that game, they're like, oh, God, we regret that. It just all goes back to the trade. Why? It's just why. Like, there's so many questions of why, and why. And I know they were concerned about his weight. He gained weight. Oh, freaking well. But clearly that hasn't
You're still one of the best players.
Yeah,
you're going to be good.
He didn't even hit his prime yet. He's 25 years old. But even if they wanted to trade him, why settle for Anthony Davis? I mean, he's one of the best. He's definitely going to go down as one of the best of all time. Great defensive player, especially. But he's been getting injured a lot. Like, what's the point of taking someone who gets injured easily and giving someone who's probably going to be like one of the best, like through the coming years, to a team that has LeBron James on it? Like, come on. But I guess the 45 points really showed, hey, Mavericks, you made a mistake, basically. And he's just been I think he's just been good ever since.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, for Luka, this just pretty much sums up what's been happening the entire season since he's been traded. Luka's been popping off in Los Angeles. The Mavericks have been a sad show to watch. I mean, they've had so many injuries. AD got almost immediately injured when he got there. Derek Lively got injured. Daniel Gaffer got injured. Kyrie got injured. The whole team has been on the injury list for God knows how long now. Basically since February when the trade happened. So yeah, it basically just sums up how both team seasons are going. Mavericks completely fell off. They're not going to make the playoffs. They'll probably lose in the play-in, is my guess. Then the Lakers, they're a scary team, man. You have some of the best playmakers in the world, probably two of the top five. Austin Reeves is an incredible third point guard to have there at any time. Jackson Hayes, not a great person, but a great center for the Lakers. He's been incredible for them so far. And I really believe that he could be a center on a championship team as that guy that doesn't really do a lot, but can be enough, like a Tristan Thompson was back in those 2016 Cavs teams, just because there is so much other talent around the Lakers team. And I think J.J. Redick in his first playoff season as a coach is going to do phenomenal with whatever team he's tasked against.
Yeah, I'm interested to see that how they do in the playoffs. I know they have LeBron, they have Luka. Obviously, that might be all you need, but at the same time, I don't feel like they have a lot of depth compared to the other teams in the West, like the Rockets, the Thunder, the Nuggets. Of course, the Nuggets
Thunder is dangerous.
The Nuggets
though.
are in their own situation with their coach getting fired, but obviously, LeBron wasn't going to win a championship this year by himself. He's got the experience, he's got the skills, but he is 40, so he can't do it all on his own. Luka, obviously, is going to be, he could help him a lot. I'm just not sure if the two of them can get it done. I know Reeves has proved a lot this season. I know they might need one more, they need one player to kind of stick out in the playoffs for them to advance and beat teams like the Thunder and the Rockets. Because we see they went head-to-head against the Thunder 2 times in a row. They split the series. I think they can compete with the Thunder. It'll be an interesting matchup, but the Thunder has more depth than them, I think.
Well, they didn't really split the series with the Thunder. That second game that they played, basically no one played at all.
Yeah.
In that first game, they completely took Shai Gilgeous-Alexander out of the game. Shot no free throws, which he has never seen before. And also, I'm not worried about the Rockets. They have no star talent. Nuggets just fired their coach. I really don't see a problem for the Lakers. Right now in the Western Conference, as it stands, they beat any team in 7 games.
Okay. So I guess we'll see what happens there, see as we go into the playoff season what's going to happen. Some people might get to it as we move into our board section for Wells Wishes. We inch closer to many different playoff postseasons across the world. Let's head to the board and give one player or team that we want to see win a championship. And I believe we're starting with Alec, yeah?
So I did not exactly choose a team or a player per se. I went with everyone's favorite fighter in the featherweight division. He will be competing tonight, or not tonight, on Saturday, April 11th, Casey Center in Miami, Florida, against Diego Lopez, and that is none other than the featherweight or former featherweight champion, Alexander the Great Volkanovski. What makes Alexander Volkanovski such an incredible fighter is he can fight on the ground. He can go to the ground. Incredible jiu-jitsu. He has it all. For those of you at home who don't know who Alexander Volkanovski is, he has been a featherweight champion since 2019. He's had over 5 title defenses in his tenure, moved up to the lightweight division, didn't have too much success, and now he finds himself in a title fight against the rising contender, Diego Lopez. Now, What makes Volkanovski so great? Well, we beat Max Holloway in 2019 to take the title from him. We defended that title against Max Holloway twice, including a 50-45 in fight number 3. We saved UFC 294 by stepping up on 6 days' notice to fight the number 1 pound-for-pounder in the entire world in Islam Makhachev. Now, if you are not voting for this man or rooting for him on Saturday at midnight to go out there and destroy Diego Lopez, you're on the wrong side of history. This man is 36 years old. He's 5'6", very small for the division, but he has the grit and the power and the feet and the cardio to take over and beat a guy like Diego Lopez. I am rooting for him. I'm sure everyone else in the studio is rooting for him, especially Lucy Stefanisko, who wrote this prompt for us. And I cannot wait to see him fight on Saturday night.
Wow, thank you. You're very passionate about that.
He deserves it.
He's one of the greatest fighters of all time. I mean, he's been fighting for so long now. He's been one of the more active UFC fighters in a time where being active wasn't really known too much. I mean, you had guys like Israel Adesanya who wouldn't really fight too much. Same thing with Kamaru Usman. You've seen it with Leon Edwards in the welterweight division. So it's a breath of fresh air to have a guy like Volkanovski, the man who took the title from him, and Ilia Topuria only fought twice last year. Obviously, both were great wins, but you really just want to see more activity out of champions, and that's exactly what you get from a man like Volk. But not only is he active, he's a great fighter too. Personality. He has a TikTok page, Cooking with Volk. Please go follow it. It's incredible.
The list goes on and on.
And the man can do no wrong.
Preach it.
The man can do no wrong.
Okay.
You guys should all be fans of Volk.
Sure, whatever you say. Because
If I watched UFC.
Okay, I think Bella, you're next. Yeah?
I'm next. So I took a very different approach. The people that actually watch. So this may come as no surprise here, but I had the Yankees because, come on, it's long overdue at this point. It's just every year you keep hoping they're going to win. They win the pennant, and then they're in the World Series, and then something goes wrong, just like last year. Thank you, Gleyber Torres. But over the years, Greg Bird, Mark Teixeira, Jacob Ellsbury, Didi Gregorius, Curtis Granderson, Todd Frazier, Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton, and I will say Gary Sanchez, he was a great hitter before the downfall. Those are just names of players that I've loved and admired over the years. Oh my God, I'm so sad that they're like one of the great like Yankee players of this generation, and they don't get. Some of them retired before even a Yankee win, or they're just still playing, and they need that Yankee win. Aaron Judge for sure needs this. He's not getting any younger. I know he's only 32 years old, but he might not have a lot of time left. Giancarlo Stanton gets injured a lot. Maybe he'll retire early. I hope not. But I just wish that before like Derek Jeter, A-Rod, Alex Rodriguez, Andy Pettitte, Mariano Rivera, just any of those players that won the 2009 series. Brett Gardner, I will say Brett Gardner's not the greatest hitter, but he was an excellent center fielder. So those are players that CC Sabathia. That's what I forgot also. Those are just players who have won the 2009 World Series, and really I wish they won like another game before they retired. I think they pretty much all retired except for CC before 2015. But this is just a desperate call of Yankees need to get in order. They need to win. Hopefully this is the year. They have a good lineup. Stan might come back soon, and when that happens, I feel like there's a lot going down. It's just like, please, guys, let's just do this.
Well, I mean, how do you feel about their pitching then? I mean,
their pitching is Max Fried is good. He had a good game yesterday. Yeah. We'd be pretty rough.
No, I'd say it's pretty rough not having your ace on
the lineup
for the entire year.
But like, you have to think on a positive note. Like they 20-9. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen that in my lifetime for the Yankees, at least before. I know they're slacking a little bit. You have to remain positive. It's early.
Yeah. They always do good in the first half of the season, though, and then they seem to fall off.
Yeah, there's a pattern. They do good, they fall a little bit in the middle, and then they pick it back up again in the end. Yeah. And
I think last year was their window. I think the window's kind of shut. Last year was the one year that they got over the hump. They made it to the playoffs. They didn't fall apart in August or July. They won the pennant. They got the World Series, and they lost to the Dodgers.
They should have won. I'm so mad still.
We can't look at the past. Chase, you want to give us your pick?
Yeah, I got you. All right, going a little bit of a different route. I'm going with the NBA, the OKC Thunder. They're the first team since 2017 Rockets to reach 65 wins on the season. I can't say enough about this team. They're one of the youngest teams in the NBA. They just continue to impress me night after night. SGA, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, MVP frontrunner. I know Jokic is having a historic season, but you can't really disregard what he's produced for this team. You have to keep in mind that this whole team is basically brought up through the draft. They didn't sign any free agents. SGA came over through a trade. Hardenstein came over through free agency, but everything else came from the ground up from Sam Presti. Sam Presti's an excellent drafter. They got some excellent young talent on their team, and I've just been impressed with what they've done this season.
So you would rather see a man that shoots maybe 30, 40 free throws a game win the championship versus LeBron James and Luka Doncic, the two most entertaining players in basketball right now?
Yeah, I'd say.
I agree.
I like the Thunder.
Really?
They're
LeBron
a
James
better
is
team.
okay. He doesn't have to win anything
They
else.
have team chemistry, unlike these other, like the Lakers. I know they have the big three, but if you ever see, I don't think I've ever seen them a post-game interview like the OKC does. They all huddle around the reporter. Lakers don't really do that. They're kind of a one-man show around there. It's LeBron James, Luka, and then everyone else. The Thunder kind of value everyone in the organization, and I like them.
I agree. I mean, it would be cool to see Luka win his first championship because he is so good. LeBron, I'm sorry, I'll get hate for it. Don't really care. Don't care to see him win again. And I want to see a team. There's they're two great guys. They haven't formed anything from ground up. So I think it would be cool to see.
Now, trust me, I am a Celtics fan. I have watched LeBron James destroy my team for the past 10 years.
Everyone's team.
Completely killed the big three with Paul Pierce, KG, and Ray Allen. He made Ray Allen go to the Heat. He also destroyed the Isaiah Thomas, Avery Bradley, Marcus Smart Celtics. With that being said, this is a boring watch. All the man does is go and drive, miss the layup, and go to the free throw line. I don't want to watch that for a 7-game series. I'd much rather watch LeBron James.
Okay.
And you're probably going to hate me even more for mine then because we'll see. Someone that I would like to see in the championship is the Timberwolves. They're kind of in that mid-range where they're not predicted to do well. They're not a standout team. They're not anything amazing. And honestly, the only reason that I would like to see them in a final to make it far is for Anthony Edwards. I'm not a huge NBA watcher, to be so honest, but I love watching his personality. He's so cocky, one of the cockiest players that I think I've seen. And I think it's fun to watch him kind of back what he says with how he plays. He's such a fantastic player, and everything he says, he kind of just proves on the court, and I think it would be really entertaining to watch him in a championship and for him to do good. So, Timberwolves.
Crazy pool.
I mean, just the same thing with the Yankees, not in terms of talent-wise, but just timeline. I mean, their time to win championship was last year. They got gifted a silver platter with Aaron Gordon having a down shooting year for the Nuggets. That's what ended up leading them to win that series in the divisional. Then we get to the conference, Anthony Edwards just completely forgot how to shoot the basketball. I mean, Luka just dominated that entire series. And I just don't see how this team can really go too far just because I don't trust Julius Randle in the playoffs. We saw what he did after his miraculous season in 2021 with the Knicks. And then Rudy Gobert has been getting shelled in the playoffs since 2017. The man can't play in a playoff series in the fourth quarter. And if that's who you're paying $35 million a year to play center for you, I just don't like their chances down the stretch.
Yeah, I don't like their chances without Karl Anthony Towns in general after that trade. I don't think that trade made sense for either party
It's financial.
Well, it's benefiting the Knicks.
Yeah, it did benefit the Knicks. Karl Anthony Towns looks really good in the Knicks, but without him on the Timberwolves, I don't see them doing anything. I know Ant is that guy, but you can't hold that team on his back. Julius Randle, as you mentioned, he's known to choke in the playoffs. He's known to choke in general, and I don't trust him one bit.
So we're at the end of the NBA season, but we're at the start of the MLB season, and a lot of these teams have gotten to a very surprising start. Teams such as the Blue Jays, Rangers, and Giants, who are in contention for the lead of their division. Will these teams be able to sustain the path that they're heading, or do you think the other big teams will kind of shine through over time?
Well, I mean, I like the Rangers every single year. I mean, they won the World Series 2 years ago for a reason. They have a very deep roster going into every single year. Bullpen, it's always going to be an issue for them. It was an issue going into the playoffs 2 years ago, but hey, guess what? Guy stepped up at the right time. Jordan Montgomery looked like the best pitcher in baseball for a month. Who thought that was going to happen? Not me. But it worked great for my FanDuel account. But regardless, I love this team. They have incredible hitters. Marcus Semien and Corey Seager will produce every single year that they are healthy. Obviously, you do worry about injury concerns. I mean, Nathan Eovaldi, he's been an injury-prone guy his entire career. Corey Seager missed a bunch of that 2023 season. Jacob deGrom, you never know what's going to happen with him. But if this team on paper can stay healthy, I love them in the AL West.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing about the Rangers. I think we could see them in a go very far in the postseason if everyone stays healthy. That is the important thing. Jacob deGrom is back. I've said this like 1,000 times at this point, but he played I will say, he's getting like flashes of his old self, like in that Red Sox game. He didn't do too well against the Rays, but they still won. But that doesn't matter. But I know he has a 3.38 ERA right now, but it's okay. He'll get better as the season progresses. We just started, so calm down, everyone. You said Corey Seager. I love Corey Seager. Admired him for years since his Dodgers days. He's just getting back into the groove of things. He probably has like the lowest batting average he has in a very long time, and that's okay. He came back from injury. Everything is okay. Positive mindset for the Rangers. I am a big Yankees fan, but I want to see the Rangers go far. Far. The Blue Jays, I mean...
Ahead of the Yankees right now.
Yeah, they are.
How do we feel?
I don't think the Blue Jays are going to do anything. I think they're the third or fourth best team in the division.
Yeah.
I think
they're going to drop.
The Yankees cleared on, Red Sox cleared on. The Orioles, very skeptical about them right now. I'm an Orioles fan myself, and I'm pretty disappointed in the
They should be higher, I will say.
But they got that deal done with Guerrero, but I don't see them doing anything. They don't have any. I know they have Bichette. They have some key players. I think they'll be good in a couple years. They don't really have it pitching wise right now. They give up a lot of runs. Their batting is streaky too. I just don't really trust them. But one team I did want to bring up that wasn't mentioned is the San Diego Padres, who's the first team with 10 wins. What do you guys think about them, considering they are in the division with the Dodgers and the Giants, who have started off well? I don't think the Giants are going to do anything, but how do you feel they match up against the Dodgers?
Well, I mean, obviously it's hard to match up against the Dodgers. I mean, that's the reason. Lost them in the playoffs last year, though.
Yeah.
But up until that point, the Padres were the hottest team in baseball by far until they met the big bad blue. But before that, Fernando Tatis, awesome. Jackson Muriel is awesome. I still love Xander Bogaerts, my former Red Sox. But this team has a lot of pieces. Bullpen is great. Pitching is great. The hitting is going to be inconsistent just because of who's out there. But I love everyone that they basically have out there. Yeah. And I think this team will be very competitive, as they are every single year. Can they beat the Dodgers? That's just a really hard task because they have an all-star in almost every single position.
Yep. I mean, I love a good rivalry, like especially that between the Dodgers and the Padres. Yeah. Like, I thought I was saying Giants for a second, but I mean,
it's interesting to see the Giants in the mix because it's been the Dodgers and the Padres for so long. No one else has really done anything. I don't think the Giants are going to do anything in the division. They'll probably fizzle out, but the Padres have really impressed me. I think they're going to continue to build. I could even see them winning the division.
Okay, so we're going to move on to our last segment of the night, which is our open mic. We're going to take the last few minutes to talk about kind of whatever we want. Plead your case on a sport, a player, a hot take. Anyone have anything?
Let's talk about the NFL draft. That's literally coming up 2 weeks from today. Like, who's going where? What does each team need? That needs to be brought up, addressed everything about it.
All right, so where's Cam Ward going? Who's taking him? Titans taking him first round?
I feel like the Titans, they need a quarterback.
Okay.
I'm going to say that he's going to the Titans.
Gotcha. And I also saw, I'm not a Steelers fan myself, but I did see on Twitter, TJ Watt did tweet something. It was like him holding a peace sign. Yeah.
At OTAs.
So could you guys see the Steelers making a move in this draft, maybe trading him to get, obviously they don't have a quarterback right now. They have Mason Rudolph. I think it'd be smart for the Steelers to trade up and get a quarterback like Shador or Cam Ward. They might take Jackson Dart, they might not. I don't think it's going to work out for him. It's kind of like what they did a couple years ago and just drafting a quarterback late round, Kenny Pickett, didn't work out. I think they need to, if they want to win, they have the roster to win, they just don't have the quarterback. They have to get a quarterback early, and they have to get someone like Cam Ward or Sanders.
Well, I mean, I completely agree. I don't know if this is the draft class to do it just because there is a lack of talent. I mean, I don't think Cam Ward would have even touched the top 10 of last year's draft because of how much talent there was at the quarterback position, and we're seeing it work out very well for every team that took a quarterback early, at least from what I saw. Even Caleb Williams, I thought looked like a good quarterback last year. In terms of the Steelers going against TJ Watt and letting him go or even trading him, I wouldn't be opposed to it just because they'll find someone to replace him. I mean, when TJ Watt was out a few years ago, Alex Highsmith came in and completely dominated as an edge rusher for them. So clearly, they're just farming defensive pieces. That's how the Steelers have been every single year. They're going to win 9 games, and they're going to lose in the first round of the playoffs. So if you're the Steelers, you might as well take a shot at somebody. I mean, sure could come in there and light something up.
Agreed.
It's better than just sitting there and going 9-7 every year.
I just think that this is definitely like a year to remember in the NFL draft because there's so many good players entering a potential forever, maybe not forever team. So I think everyone, even like, let's say the lowest, how do you say it? Like lowest win teams, like Titans, Giants, Jets, Patriots, Browns.
Yeah.
They all need to lock in and figure their stuff out because I feel like every single one of them need like a full reset. Like you need this, you need that, you need this, you need that. And especially if Russell Wilson is with the Giants, it's just I don't know. He's always been good, but he's past his prime at this point. Is he gonna be good? Is he not gonna be good? They really just need to focus on like those defensive linemen for that, if that's the case, because both offense and defense are not good for them right now. And I could say the same thing about the Jets because Jets have been awful over the years, god awful. I think they need a clean.
They got their quarterback.
Actually. So Justin Fields is, I would say he's good. I don't know what
he did. He put up solid numbers in the Steelers.
Yeah.
Garrett Wilson stopped asking for a trade when he got signed, so clearly he sees something in Fields.
I mean, so he should be good, Justin Fields, for the Jets.
Yeah.
I don't like the Jets, but, you know.
Yeah, I wanted to point out, you mentioned the Browns. The Browns had the chance to get Abdul Carter and pair him with Myles Garrett on the other end. That could be a really scary defense.
I hope he goes to the Giants.
Okay, unfortunately that was all the time we have for Open Mic tonight, but thank you guys so much for tuning in to our Frenzy show at 360 Sports, and make sure to come back next week for another week of shows. Thank you.